We get that?
Can't talk? Those two words hit different when the man saying them has spent 50 years inside the wrestling business. Jim Cornette is not some casual fan with an opinion. He is a manager, a booker, a promoter, and one of the sharpest minds the wrestling world has ever produced. When he points at someone and says they cannot talk, people listen. And here is the part that makes it so fascinating. The 7 names he has aimed that criticism at are not jobbers. They are not forgettable mid-card fillers who came and went without anyone caring. We're talking about legends, champions, household names, guys who made little kids lose their minds in arenas across the world. Guys whose merchandise sold out and whose entrances popped the crowd before they even touched the ropes. These are stars in the truest sense of the word. And yet, the second a live microphone got placed in front of them, something cracked. Not what we are getting into today. 7 huge WWE names, 7 real mic problems, and 1 very loud voice in Jim Cornette who was not afraid to say what a lot of people were only thinking quietly. Number 1, Jeff Hardy. If you ever want to understand the difference between physical charisma and verbal charisma, start here. Jeff Hardy did not need to say a single word to make 70,000 people feel something. The face paint, the daredevil jumps, the willingness to destroy his own body for a reaction. That was his language. And it worked. Crowds did not just cheer for Jeff Hardy. They felt him. There is a difference. But that connection lived entirely in his body, not in his words. When Hardy was asked to trash talk, when he had to carry long scripted segments and deliver structured heel promos, the magic disappeared fast. His real personality was quiet and laid back. That did not match the loud, aggressive delivery that WWE's television format often demanded. The more he had to explain himself, the less interesting he became. The less he said, the cooler he felt. Hardy was a star because of aura, but when the aura had to be replaced by argument, the weakness showed. Subscribe right now and drop a comment below. We want to know who had the bigger gap between star power and mic skill, Jeff Hardy or the next name on this list. Hit subscribe and join the conversation. Number 2, Bret Hart. This one requires some care because Bret Hart is genuinely one of the greatest wrestlers who ever lived. His ring psychology and his dedication to keeping opponents safe put him in a category very few people have ever reached. Nobody is arguing otherwise. But during his peak babyface championship run in the mid-90s, his promos were often flat. His delivery as a hero was quiet, serious, and repetitive in a way that felt dry against the loud, colorful energy of the era. Compared to Roddy Piper, Dusty Rhodes, or Shawn Michaels on the microphone, Hart sounded like he was reading a prepared statement. What makes his case so interesting is what happened when he turned heel in 1997. Suddenly, a man who had struggled to make hero promos feel alive became one of the most compelling talkers on the show. The anti-American, bitter, realist character gave him something real to work with. Real anger, real grievance, real personal stakes. Instead of trying to match the artificial screaming of his peers, he spoke with quiet, genuine fury. And it landed. He was not bad forever. He was bad when the character did not fit the man. Number 3, Lance Storm. Technically, Lance Storm was close to perfect. His execution in the ring was precise, safe, and brilliant. Cornette himself worked with Storm early in his career in Smoky Mountain Wrestling. The in-ring side delivered. The promo side did not. Storm's speaking voice was monotone. It lacked the variation in pace and the dramatic weight that wrestling promos live or die on. When he arrived in WWE after WCW closed, the company did not try to fix the problem. They turned it into the gimmick. They branded him as boring, literally, on television. In 2003, Stone Cold Steve Austin walked to the top of the ramp during a Storm promo, carrying a pillow and a blanket, and lay down like he had fallen asleep. The crowd laughed. Cornette argues that was a disaster dressed up as comedy. By telling the audience that your own performer is boring, you break something that cannot easily be repaired. Storm's ring work remained excellent. His credibility as a main event name was gone. Number 4, Davey Boy Smith. The British Bulldog was a legitimate powerhouse. His physical style was explosive and agile, and his popularity in the United Kingdom was enormous. But his voice worked against him. His natural delivery was high-pitched and squeaky, with a style that lacked the commanding weight needed to anchor a top heel position. His solo promos were often repetitive, cliché-heavy, and hard to follow. When Smith turned heel in late 1995, WWE placed him in Camp Cornette, with Cornette acting as his full mouthpiece. Cornette handled the complex arguments, the contract loopholes, and the personal motivations. He gave Smith's character a sharp brain to go with the powerful body. There is even a famous solo promo where Smith showed up wearing a cap and pink sweatpants and delivered something so chaotic that Cornette had to physically jump in and rescue the segment before it fell apart completely. Davey Boy had everything else. The mic was the one piece that never fit. Number 5. The Great Khali. If Davey Boy's problem was delivery, Khali's problem was everything. He stood over 7 feet tall and was pushed straight into WWE World Championship programs because his look was impossible to ignore. But the physical limitations were severe. Joint stiffness, unsafe in the ring. Cornette described him plainly as a big klutz. Other performers genuinely feared working with him, with David Otunga admitting he sandbagged Khali out of concern for his own safety. Beyond all of that, Khali faced a complete English language barrier. He could not deliver promos at all. WWE solved this by pairing him with Ranjin Singh, who served as his translator, manager, and the man responsible for explaining everything Khali was supposed to be doing and feeling. Without Singh, the television segments went completely dead. Khali is the most extreme version of this whole conversation. He had the giant look, but without movement and without words, the structure had to be built around hiding those gaps every single week. Number 6, Sid Udy. Sid Vicious, Psycho Sid, Sid Justice. Whatever name he was working under, he looked like the most dangerous man on the planet. Crowds reacted to him at the highest level in both WCW and WWF. At Survivor Series 1996, a hostile New York crowd rejected the planned babyface and loudly got behind Sid instead. That is genuine star power. But his promos were erratic. The volume would shift without warning. The logic would disappear mid-sentence. The most famous example came during a WCW promo building toward a match with Kevin Nash. Sid tried to deliver a threatening line and ended up telling Nash that he only had half the brain that Nash had. It turned a serious threat into an accidental punchline in real time. Bookers learned to keep his promos short and intense, using close camera work to make him feel dangerous without forcing him to talk too long. That worked most of the time, but it also proved the point. Number 7, the Ultimate Warrior. There is no list like this without the Warrior. He had one of the most electric physical presences professional wrestling has ever produced. The energy was real. The crowd reaction was real. But his promos operated on a completely different frequency from everything else on the show. He abandoned normal wrestling logic entirely in favor of strange, surreal monologues built around concepts like destrucity, a word he invented that no one, including his own management, could explain. Jim Ross admitted publicly that nobody in the front office understood what the Warrior was trying to say. His 1996 WWF return made the problem even clearer. Stripped of his youthful physical intensity, with no clear promo style to fall back on, he looked completely out of place and left quickly. The Warrior could make you feel an energy. He could not make you understand a fight. That is why he closes this list. Drop a comment below and tell us which of these 7 you think Cornette was most right about, and which one you think got judged too harshly.
Here is the honest truth. Most of these 7 became legends anyway. Some had managers to cover the gaps. Some had enough physical presence that the crowd forgave the weak words. Some found their voice when the character finally matched the man. Wrestling is bigger than one skill, but Cornette's point still stands. A great look gets attention. A great voice builds a legacy that lasts long after the lights go out.